I'm a 60-year-old female. My name is OP, and here I am today asking you guys, am I racist? My, son's girlfriend seems to think I am, but guys, I'm gonna tell you exactly the situation and why she thinks that, but I don't think that I am. I'm 60 female, never thought I'd be posting here. But recent events have made me question everything. I've always considered myself a good person. A loving mother, a devoted wife, and family is everything to me. And I've worked hard to instill our values and traditions in my kids. Especially my son, Jacob, who's 32. Jacob is the spitting image of his father. Tall, handsome, charming. He's always been the golden child, and I've had high hopes for him. Well, when he started dating Melissa, I tried to keep an open mind, but it's hard. I mean, she's a nice girl, but she's just so different from us. You see, her family, her culture, even her fashion sense, it's all made me uncomfortable. I know how that sounds, but hear me out, I'm not racist. I just wanted what was best for Jacob. So I started playing matchmaker, trying to set him up with girls from our church. You know, daughters of family friends, people I thought would be a better fit. I even orchestrated some coincidental meetings, hoping that he would hit it off with someone else. My husband, he's 62, thought I was being what they call extra, and my daughter Sarah straight up called me prejudiced. They just don't get it. I was trying to preserve the family legacy, to make Jacob marrying someone who shares our values. Well, crap hit the fan last month at our family barbecue. Jacob brought over Melissa, and it was awkward. She tried to make conversation, but I was cold and dismissive. Looking back, I do cringe at my behavior now. After lunch, Melissa confronted me in the kitchen. She asked why I don't like her, why I was always trying to set Jacob up with other girls, and I was in shock. I tried to explain that she misunderstood, that I just wanted Jacob to be happy, but the more I talked, the more defensive I got. Melissa was buying it, and she hit me with the truth bomb. You don't want Jacob to be with me because I'm Hispanic. Oh, that's racism, plain and simple. I was stunned. Me, racist? I've never used a racial slur in my life. I started to argue, but then I saw Jacob standing in the doorway. The look on his face, a mix of disappointment and anger, stopped me in my tracks. Later, Jacob laid it all out. He said he loved Melissa and planned to wife her up. He told me I need to accept it or risk losing him. Well, I'm torn. I love my son more than anything, but the thought of him marrying someone so different, it's compromising our family's identity. It terrifies me. In the weeks since, I've been doing some serious soul-searching. I've started to examine my own biases, and it's been uncomfortable. I thought back to the comments I've made over the years, jokes that suddenly don't seem that funny. I realized that my discomfort with Melissa was not about her character. It really is about the color of her skin. I tried to connect with Melissa to understand her perspective, but every attempt felt awkward and coerced. I could tell that she was weary of me. I could not blame her. My own family starts to pull away from me as if my prejudice was contagious. I feel lost, guys. I love my son, but I don't know how to reconcile the love with the ugly truth about myself that I'm just starting to acknowledge. Can somebody my age really change? Can I unlearn a lifestyle of bias? Anyways, I don't even think I'm that racist, guys. I'm asking for your help, your wisdom. What would you do? I'm ready to listen and learn, and I know it won't be easy, so let me ask you guys this first. Am I the a-hole, and more importantly, what do I do now? I will update you guys. It might be a few days, but I will. What's up, everybody? We have multiple updates, and this story is about to take a nuclear turn. Just when we thought OP was starting to learn her lesson about her being so racist, oh, it looks like a 180-degree turn is coming. The next update is I hit rock bottom. Guys, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure you take a second and hit that button. Here is update number 1. I thought that I'd hit rock bottom before, but boy, I was wrong. The responses of my original post were a wake-up call. Y'all did not hold back in the comment section. He called me out, labeled me a racist, a bigot, and I was defensive AF at first, hurt and angry. But as I read more, as I let your words sink in, I realized you were speaking the truth. I was desperate to prove myself to show Jacob that I was not the villain everybody made me out to be. In a moment of weakness, I did something I'm deeply ashamed of. I hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on Melissa. Sue me. I thought if I could just find something, anything to show Jacob she's not like us, he'd see things from my perspective. The PI did not find any crap on Melissa. What do I pay him for? But he did uncover that her family has been involved in a lawsuit a few years back. It had nothing to do with her directly, but in my, mind, it was ammunition, and I'm ready for war. At our next family dinner, I waited until everybody was chowing down before I dropped the bombshell. I revealed what I'd found, hoping to expose Melissa to make Jacob see reason, and the reaction was instant and explosive. Jacob was furious, shook that I would invade Melissa's privacy like that, and Melissa was bawling, angry and hurt, and she said I was trying to drag her name through the mud, and that I was so blinded by racism that I would stoop to any level. The argument that followed was unlike anything I've ever experienced. My husband was losing his crap, asking how I could be so cruel. Sarah was comforting Melissa, shooting me all these looks of disgust, and other relatives were taking sides, and the room divided between those appalled by my actions and those who, thought I was just trying to protect Jacob. Guys, it got so loud, so heated, one of the neighbors called the cops. They actually showed up, and I was hysterical at that point, a crying mess. I was screaming, too, crying, and when one of the officers tried to calm me down by grabbing my shoulder from the back, I shoved him. I was arrested on the spot for assaulting an officer. I swear I didn't know it was him. I thought it was someone in the family trying to get me. I spent the night in the slammer. The shame and the humiliation brought a lot of pain to me. Jacob bailed me out the next morning, but he could barely look at me. He said he did not recognize me anymore, that the mother he loved would never behave like this. He told me that he was considering cutting me off of his life entirely. To add some insult to injury, Melissa's pressing charges for defamation. On top of the assault charge, I'm now facing a civil lawsuit. I'm drowning in regret and confusion, and maybe the comments were right. I thought I was protecting my family, but I've only torn us apart. My actions have alienated me from the people who I love the most. I'm starting to question everything I know about myself. Well, guys, I'm actually starting to see a shrink, trying to understand where this prejudice comes from and how to overcome it. My family is so divided right now, though. I'm terrified of what comes next, of the legal consequences and the fallout of the family. Well, I still don't think that I did anything that bad. Anyways, I'm turning to you guys again, not for sympathy this time. I know I don't deserve it. You've already told me that. But for perspective, for guidance, how do I even begin to make amends? Is there a path forward, a way to heal the wounds I've inflicted? I'm ready to face the music if there's music to be faced. I'm a big girl. Forgiveness can be possible, though. I know. I just have to work for it. Anyways, thanks for reading. This one is more of a positive note, I guess. Yeah, I did end up in jail for a night, but that's behind us. I'll update you guys again if anything goes down. Final update. The verdict is in, and it's not pretty. Hey guys, well, it's been a while since my last update. I faced the legal crap storm I've brought upon myself, and the verdict, well, it was not how I wanted it to go. It was absolutely devastating. I hired the best lawyer I could find. I spent thousands of dollars. The judge found me guilty, both of the assault of the officer and the defamation of Melissa's character. I'm shattered. For the assault, I was slapped with a hefty fine and 100 hours of community service, and I don't think I deserve that. For the defamation, the court ordered me to pay damage to Melissa. The sum was substantial, wiping out a good chunk of my savings. Rest in peace, my retirement fund. But the real gut punch, it came from my baby boy Jacob. He came to see me after the trial, and I hardly recognized him. The warmth in his eyes was gone, replaced by a steely resolve that sent chills down my spine. He told me that he's been doing a lot of thinking, and he'd come to a decision. For his own mental health and for the well-being of his future family, he was cutting me out of his life. No contact, no expectations. I was dead to him, and I would never see my grandbabies that he's going to make with Melissa. I broke down, begging for another chance, pleading, almost promising to change. But Jacob was unmoved. He said that he could never trust me with his unborn children, knowing how I think of Melissa like I do. He said that he hopes I'd get the help I needed, but I would never be a part of the family until I truly showed amends. And, well, he said it's going to be a while. He left, and a part of me shattered. In the depths of my despair, I received a surprising message from guess who? Melissa. I expected anger, gloating, but instead she offered compassion. She said that she hoped this experience would be a catalyst for a genuine change in me. Yeah, if she really wanted that, why did she sue me? She wished me well, though, even as she made it clear that she needs some space and time to heal from the, quote, nuclear bomb of harm I am. That's what she called me. But I have no choice but to go through this now. I'm going to look at my community service more like an unexpected gift. Working alongside people from diverse backgrounds, I get to hear stories. I began to confront my own basis head on. What I'm really upset about is all the money I had to spend on this crap. In therapy, though, I've been digging deep. Unearthing the roots of my prejudice is what she's saying. It's been painful, confronting parts of myself I'd rather tuck away and ignore, but I'm starting to understand how my upbringing, my experiences have shaped my thinking, and I'm learning to challenge those ingrained beliefs to expand more. I did something I didn't think I was going to do. I wrote a lengthy apology to both Melissa and Jacob. I owned up to my actions, acknowledged the depths of the hurt I caused. I have to be a part of their life. I poured my heart out, but I did not expect a response, and I have not got one yet. I'm learning to accept the consequences of my actions. Well, the fallout for me is extensive. I've even downsized my life significantly. I have to manage all the financial penalties I'm with. My bank account is crying with me. Relationships with my family and friends, they're strained. I haven't been invited to any family gatherings. I'm the poster child of what not to do. But I'm not hiding from it anymore. I've leaned into the discomfort and attending workshops on diversity and whatnot, and I hold on to a flicker of hope that someday Jacob might see the change in me and just reconsider. What's up, everybody? We're going to check out some comments now. These comments are from two users. They're having a back and forth versus battle. Comment number 1's from Dogboy32, and the follow-ups are from D-Slaw. First comment says, honestly, I think OP handled this situation terribly from the start. She should have recognized her prejudice ways earlier and just worked to address it before it got to this point. Hiring a PI to dig up dirt on Melissa? That's just deplorable. While D-Slaw comes in saying, while I agree that OP made some serious mistakes, I think it's important to acknowledge that she's now taking steps to rectify her behavior. I mean, admitting to being racist is a huge first step, no? And it sounds like she's genuinely committing to change. Well, Dogboy says, sure, but the damage is already done, D-Slaw. Her son has cut her off of his life, and rightfully so. You can't just erase years of toxic behavior with a few therapy sessions and an apology letter. D-Slaw? No, you can't erase the past, we know that, but you can work to build a better future. OP's doing the hard work in confronting her biases and trying to unlearn harmful patterns. That's commendable, and you should just lay off, even if it doesn't immediately fix everything. Dogboy says, I guess I just have a hard time sympathizing with someone who let their racism get to this point. Like, how do you not realize that you're being prejudiced? It's 2023 for crying out loud. D-Slaw responds, I hear you, but I think it's more complex than that. OP grew up in a different time with different normals. That does not excuse her behavior, I guess, but it does provide context. Unlearning decades of ingrained beliefs is a process, dog boy. Well, final comment from Dog Boy. He says, well, maybe so, but OP is an adult. She should have known better than to treat Melissa like that, regardless of her upbringing. And the fact that she doubled down and hired a PI, like I said, that's a next level messed up, and I guess our argument should just end here. Let's agree to disagree. Alright guys, let's talk about this one. Once again, let's review the last comment from Dog Boy that says, maybe so, but OP's an adult. She should have known better than to treat Melissa like that, regardless of her upbringing. That's absolutely no excuse. And the fact that she doubled down and hired a PI to look for something incriminating is insane. Guys, let's talk about that. Do you think the fact that OP said, well, I was raised this way, or the fact that she hired a PI, do you think that has anything to do with her being racist? And what do you think of these allegations? Guys, I want to know your thoughts. Drop it down below. I think it's safe to say in this story, though, OP was 100% in the wrong. Guys, let's discuss it. My name's Mr.Reddito. I narrate these stories every single day, and I would just love to know your thoughts on it. So go ahead, drop a comment down below. I'll see you tomorrow, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.